Always analyze DXY and trade EU because the EU is the highest accuracy on where the market's high likely to go to. Since DXY is the main currency of the world, it's much more important than EU. EU doesn't have as much as influence as DXY in the worldly basis. And today, I didn't have any setup. I thought I had a setup for the higher technical key level, but it was false, right? You can see this big wick candle on DXY wasn't there for no reason, right? He was here for a specific reason, right? And he was there to save us from this stupid loss. And it didn't make sense to me. I was like, the Russian block is so slow, so small, is that he stopped out like so quick. And I had to look at the DXY. I was like, oh yeah, definitely, because we had on DXY we had a low, we had a high, we had a lower low, but the higher high we never got. But on EU we had a low, high, we had a high, low, higher high, lower low. But on DXY we had a what? A fucking high, low, higher high. Fuck, I did it wrong. A low, high, supposed to be lower low, right? Eventually we never had a higher high, right? So high, low, higher high, lower low, low, high, lower low. We never had a higher high. So this is OTE. Didn't make sense. As you guys know, DXY is the exact same pair as EU, but just the color opposite, right? So most of the time they go the same way unless there's the SMT like with these lows. Otherwise, it's always going to be the same, movement. So that's why I say at the start of the video to always analyze DXY and trade EU because it yields the highest accuracy. I had to find this out myself a couple of times, and today again, I was like, why is there a big ass wick here? And this wick related to the OTE in a higher time frame. I was gonna take that, but I was like, I'm not gonna take it because it, DXY didn't confirm it, and with this OTE is no longer valid because the second leg of the move already happened. So now, today I was bearish. You can see how we were wrong here today, right? Market went up higher. I just said before on the weekly market forecast that there may be a SMT with these highs. There was SMT with these lows, by the way, right? DXY had SMT with its highs right over here. So from weekly CRT low, SMT to the weekly CRT high. Simple, right? But the weekly CRT high should be having, I feel like it should be respected as SMT. It shouldn't be sweeping it out because Thursday is a beautiful day for a reversal. But yeah. And today, if it respects, it still respected it, right? Because this CRT high, this CRT is still respected. So I do want to see low prices, but I'm not sure. If we do close above this weekly auto block 50%, and he had when we close above the 50% mark right over here, which is right over here in this candle. If we do close above it, I will anticipate for the market to go to the resistance block at least for going lower. But in order for that to happen, if we just close above it like this, what happens with the CRT? I'm still going to anticipate lower prices before that. But at the moment, I'm still anticipating lower prices because we haven't. First, we need to anticipate the key level and then close above it. Otherwise, we can't anticipate a bullish price action because you guys know after a key level gets tapped, if we don't get a wick below or wick above, then we can anticipate continuation to a deeper level of that specific key level, like the 50% mark, threshold, or direction block, or the the higher low of it, which is going to be the buy side liquidity, right? So looking over here, what do we have here on the daily time frame? So our bearish buys here, which we didn't execute, and the lower time frame, I wish you guys, we did have another setup which didn't work out at all, which that setup never followed our trading guide rules. That's why I didn't execute it. But what we had there was Very simple as well. We had a daily range, right? On a higher time frame, when premiums want to sell off, we had a daily to the downside. We went above, which so equals low prices, as well as we had a we at the moment when I was looking for a trade, we had a classic expansion profile to the downside. Monday high of the week, but if it's false now it's possibly a classic expansion profile. One to the downside, Tuesday high of the week. I don't know why the two and the one is different, but they are somewhat. I don't know why though. But over here, the branding name, right? It doesn't really fucking matter what it is. That's what we had here. Other than that, what else we had here? We had the weekly, right? Obviously, weekly IRL back to weekly ERL. A week because this resistance block had SMT, and as well as low had SMT as well. So we want to go back down lower after retracing, which is, as you guys know, when there's a SMT with the high of the resistance block or the low of the ERL or whatever, there's going to be some sort of retracement before targeting the higher or the low. That's what we had in a higher time frame. So now go down to lower time frame. Yeah, daily ranges again. That's all we had. CRT to the downside, a classic expression profile. At the moment, I see a classic expression profile, one to the downside, Tuesday high of the week. We as well have a day to the downside. We can have another daily CRT to the downside right over here from the Monday candle. Now going down to lower time frame. At the start of the day, I was looking for a near continuation because London made a half a day and the London lows were taken out. So I was looking for a clear push to the downside. Now in the high time frame, I was looking to short down one of these candles, right? Eventually, what we had here, we had SMT with the 8 a.m. with the 7 a.m. to the 8 a.m. candle, and you can see right when NFP came out, it was the SMT. Right? You can see we had the right amount of one. It never tested the threshold. Plus, even if it tested the threshold, we cannot take it. Why? Because of OTE. And people wonder, well, what if it just taps the OT? Won't just enter short? No, it cannot. I have to wait for confirmation and then go from there. But wonder, well, there in a lower time frame, there was no fair value gap above all high or low, and yeah, that's why I didn't execute. Right, so the 0.50% mark for the time of the S&T never got tapped, and OT, as you guys know, cannot have SMTs. OTs cannot have SMTs. It needs to tap it rather than having SMT with it. Right, you always need to tap it. And that's our first thing. Second thing, I thought, okay, that got disrespected. Later on the day, I was like, okay, there's a high, low, higher, high, lower, low. Let me take this one. But I checked the quality asset. I was going to play this shorting position like a limit order, but I looked at that quality asset. I was like, DXY is supposed to be the same pair as you guys know. I prioritize DXY more than EU because it yields higher return. He yields a higher accuracy. The reason I have very high accuracy is of DXY, right? So I looked at DXY. I was like, it doesn't make really much sense to me to short it down because DXY had a big wick, and the big wick, as you guys know, nothing is random in the market. The market went from weekly ERL back to weekly higher, weekly CRT high to weekly CRT low, weekly CRT low SMT to the weekly CRT high, which I have SMT right now. It may hold or it may not hold. I don't know until tomorrow, but you see, it was not random. It wasn't random, so I was like, okay, so if I want to take this OT to the downside, I need the quality asset to support it with it, right? So the quality asset with DXY, and there was SMT throughout the whole way to the upside with GU, which you can see GU fucked up. Like if you were to trade GU, not GU, if you were to use GU as SMT, you would have been slammed on, right? Because as you guys know, you only want to use your two main pairs as SMT, and that's what happened. And on the quality asset on DXY, we had a low, high, lower, low. High. We never had a higher high up this week. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna take this hard to key level trade. I'm gonna wait and see. And that's what happened here, right? The lesson of the day is simple. Only trade at a 50% mark, 0.86 mark of the OTE. And always trust DXY more than EU because DXY is more important than EU. Trading, analyzing DXY and trading EU, it yields the highest accuracy, less manipulation, less bullshit, etc., etc. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. I don't know if my boss is wrong. I have to check my analysis. Right, I may have to check my analysis. Let's check it right now. Actually, I have to check on the quality. I started to tell you guys why I'm bearish here. We have right now at the moment we have a weekly SMT CFD high. We have a weekly SMT with a weekly CFD high. We go back to weekly CFD low. But the weekly CFD low already got met with the quality asset. This could simply be a double purge. Now I'm going to ask quality asset to determine why we're still bullish. We have right over here. We tapped. So we've gone from weekly IRL back to weekly ERL. The revision block, right? For the revision block on retracement before taking the wick. Before taking out the wick, we have a weekly IRL to ERL. We have right now a weekly CRT to the upside. But I wonder, well, it still does hit the high first. It's still valid. Why? Because of double purge. Positive turtle soup. Let me put it like that. Now we could target this high as our weekly CRT high. Why? For our double purge can support the high and the low, then go, right? So you support the high and the low, now we go up high from here, then go from there on forward. Now what else we have here? We have weekly IRL to ERL, a weekly double purge to the upside. We have nothing else in that. On the higher time frame, we definitely do have stuff here, but in the lower time frame, that's all we have. On a daily time frame, what we have here is daily ranges, right? As you guys know, on a daily time frame, we only care about daily ranges, CRTs, if-then principle, and the weekly profile. Everything else we don't really give a shit about, right? The key level we definitely do care about. We care about the important highs and lows. In this case, this high was an important high. So if you're gonna long it up, you would have high likely, gotten out over here because it's an important high. Why is it an important high? Because on a daily range, this is a high that broke a low. A high that breaks a low or a low that breaks a high is an important key level. That's what the market, reflected out of this. It went down to the downside and went to a low that never broke a high yet. So we can use it as a key level, as a support to push price up higher. Now on a daily time frame, we created a big ass range, which this range could be used as a support to the price. Lower time frame would have nothing much here going on. So on the daily time frame, we have to reanalyze because something happened in analyzation. Now we have a weekly CRT to the upside. We as well have a daily CRT to the upside. Right. I don't like putting these fucking totals because they take so much of the. Man, let me just delete this. I have to keep my chart very clean. I don't want to be taking it to this right here alone pisses me off, to be honest with you guys. Just give it a blue color. All right, purge it out. So we have a daily CRT at the moment to the upside, a weekly to the upside, as well as what else we have here? We have we can have a tick in the model accumulation. You can see this kind of did a lot of stuff here inside of it. You went to the upside and to the downside. As you guys know, Monday we'll usually have a explosive price to the upside and to the downside, which will count as an accumulation to build a range. Right, so we can have a 3-candle model, Monday accumulation, Tuesday manipulation, Wednesday expansion. We as well we could trade tomorrow because if tomorrow does go below this old low, we can't trade it. But if our quality asset, the EU, doesn't push out this low, or the high, then because it can be the opposite, then we're going to anticipate we can still trade because of SMT, but otherwise, if we tell to take it out as well, we cannot trade it until the next day because the Thursdays are going to be reversals. So that's what we have for the quality asset. Same thing here. We have a daily CR to the downside, another daily to the downside. right? And our target goal is going to be overall where? It's going to be this as well because we have SMT now. Same thing here. Now we have a weekly. At the moment, a weekly S&P to the downside, a daily CRT to the downside, a daily three candle model money accumulation to the manipulation ways of expansion. We have a daily to the downside. We have another daily to the downside. We have another daily to the downside. We still looked above it. We didn't close above it, so we're still anticipating lower prices. We're in premium, so we want to sell off. And our goal is going to be the daily range low, and we're all the way down to these lows. So that's what we have for this analysis. Going on to lower time frame, people are wondering, well, why did I not enter this trade? Right over here, this duration block short to the downside. Because, as you guys know, after the second leg happens, this higher tempo OT key level entry is invalid because second leg already happened, and OT only causes second leg, nothing else. Right? It only causes it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. See you guys on the description down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.